everyone, it's Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel. If you are in fact new around here, hey, I am Nicole. It is lovely to meet you. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. Do consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy nail polish related content. I upload new videos every single week featuring both indie, mainstream, as well as boutique nail polish brands. If you are in fact a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? I hope everyone's just having a fantastic week. So today's video is for the October polish pickup, and the theme for October is Sidekicks. If you are new and have no idea what I am talking about, Polish Pickup is a monthly indie collaboration featuring many different indie brands. Everyone follows the same theme and releases limited edition nail polishes that are exclusive to the Polish Pickup website. I will have all the information down in the description box. Also down there, I will have links to where you can purchase these polish, links to the Polish Pickup social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post where I host all of my swatch photos. Also down there are going to be timestamps, and if you would like to support each individual maker over on my blog post, I also have links to all of the brand's social media pages over there as well. I do believe that's everything, so let's just get into this video. First up, we have All Mixed Up Lacquers with Furiously Cringy. All Mixed Up Lacquers was inspired by Battle Cat from He-Man. It is described as an olive green when cold to a clear when warm thermal base with orange to red to gold shifting shimmer, UCC flakies, as well as crystal chameleon flakies. It is priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 200 bottles. This polish had a really fantastic formula. I really love the color of this one in the cold state. I did find in the warm state, the base to my eye looked like a very pale, like sagey kind of green. The flakies in here all spread out very evenly and easily without giving off any texture. There weren't any real big chonkers, but there are some really nice size flakies in here. This polish pretty much screams fall on the nail. The UCC flakies in here have a very like autumnal look to them, and I feel like they paired really nicely with like the shimmer as well as the crystal chameleon flakies in here. So I swatched this one in 3 coats plus glossy top coat. Whether you do 2 coats or 3 is just going to depend on how you feel about visible nail line in the warm state. I do think shorter nails will likely be good in 2 coats. Longer nails, if you want to make this one perfectly opaque, 3 coats. And no issues on removal. Next up, we have Bee's Knees Lacquer with You're My Best Man. This polish was inspired by the brand's favorite vampire familiar, Guillermo de la Cruz, from What We Do in the Shadows. I love this inspiration. The description on this one is a deep red base with a gold to green to blue shifting shimmer, as well as ruby red light reflective glitter. It is priced at $13.50 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a really nice formula. It was fairly thick, but I did not have any application issues with it. I love the red base, and the shimmer in here is really gorgeous. I thought for sure this polish was going to be a stainer for me, but I did not personally experience any staining with it. I still would recommend wearing base coat with this one, or potentially even doubling up on base coat if reds tend to stain you. As far as the reflective glitters go, they do give this polish some significant texture, and I was able to see the red reflex out in natural sunlight, which is what you are seeing. Well, now you're seeing it. Sorry, I went in the shade for a second. So I swatched this one in 2 coats with 2 coats of top coat. I did use a glitter smoothing top coat, and removal will be very difficult. I recommend soaking this one off or use a peel off base coat. Next up, we have Cameo Colored Lacquers with War Machine Rocks. This one was inspired by Iron Man's sidekick War Machine, and it is described as being a super shiny foil flecked with black base, packed full of scattered holographic sparkle, red micro flakes, as well as silver holographic micro flakes. It is priced at $11.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 105 bottles. This polish had a fantastic formula. The base was just slightly on the thicker side, but it was the kind of that was thick as in like this is a very opaque polish, and not like thick as in hard to work with. All of the flakies and whatnots spread out very evenly and easily without giving up any noticeable texture. You will want some glossy top coat for this one just to give it a nice glossy finish. And this one I was pleasantly surprised at how holographic this one was out in natural sunlight. I do think this one is likely going to be a solid 2-coater. It was opaque on me in 2 coats. So nothing in here is going to dry down textured or be overly difficult to remove. I do anticipate removal being on the more messy side though. And now we have Color Spectrum Polish with Hakuna Matata. Color Spectrum Polish was inspired by Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King, and this one is described as being a brown base with a green to gold multi-chrome magnetic pigment, as well as gold shimmer and purple glitter. It is priced at $12.50 for 13 ml and has a cap of 115 bottles. This polish had a very nice formula. I did not think this one was going to reach full opacity for me, but I did find it had pretty good coverage in 2 to 3 coats depending on your nail length. For my swatch photos, I liked it more by getting it opaque in 2 coats and then magnetizing the 3rd coat. For my live swatch, I am just showing it in 2 coats and I'm magnetizing the 2nd coat. Live swatch, I'm showing it magnetized using a arch magnet, I do believe this is called, and you can see here that I forgot how to hold this one to get a good line. So for my full hand swatch, I did use a ring magnet. The base color paired with a magnetic effect gives this polish like an almost like swampy, pruggly green kind of look on the nail, which I personally really appreciate. I will say I did not really see too much of the purple glitters in here until I was looking at like my macro shots like that one you just saw. Removal for this polish won't be too bad. I soaked it off with no issues. And now we have Crystal Knockout within Sprite of it all. Crystal Knockout was inspired by Sprite from the Legend of Zelda cartoon, and this polish is described as being a purple to white Crelly thermal base with matte pink dot glitters, pale pink micro glitter, as well as iridescent color shifting flakies. It is priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a really great formula. It was on the thicker side, but I found application very easy. I did not need to hold the bottle upside down to get any of those like big old circle glitters out on the nail. And if you did not know this already, I freaking love those big circle dot glitters. I don't know why I love them so much, but I really, really do. The thermal aspect for this polish changed very easily for me. One thing I will note, I did feel like I was seeing a 3rd color shift. I was seeing like a milky white shade, a bluish periwinkle shade, as well as like a really pretty purple for the coldest state. So the brand does not say this is a trithermal, but I was seeing 3 different color states on my nails. And the only reason I realized that is because I did have this polish on for several days. I used it as a base for one of my weekend live streams, which is what you're seeing here, this nail art design. Had so much fun with you all. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to help me make this one. So this polish does dry down with some texture. I did opt to pair it with a glitter smoothing top coat before going with my quick dry top coat, and removal will be on the more difficult side. I do not suggest scrubbing this one off. I would recommend either the soak off method or using a peel off base coat. I personally used a peel off base coat. And now we have Fair Maiden polish with That's So Fetch. Fair Maiden polish was inspired by Gretchen from the Mean Girls, and this one is described as being a plum black base loaded with a magenta orange flake. This polish is also magnetic and it has a magenta to gold magnetic pigment in it. It is priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a fantastic formula. I love the base color paired with like the magnetic effect, the colors that I was seeing. I was seeing a gold, magenta, and like a fuchsia-y kind of purple look on the nail. The flakies in here do not dry down textured. Ooh, I almost forgot. Here you're seeing me use the arch magnet and I remembered how to use this one. So now I'm literally just messing around now because I just thought it was really fun to tinker around with that one. So as you can see, this one magnetizes very easily. I love the lot in here. I'm still going. I did not realize I did all this so much for the lot. I am so sorry. But this polish was absolutely gorgeous. For my full hand swatches, I did use my ring magnet and I loved how that turned out as well. I think this polish is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your nail length and personal preference. My full hand swatch, I did use 3 coats on the nails that I magnetized. For my pointer finger and my my pinky. I'm so sorry. My pinky, that is in 2 coats. My middle nail and my ring finger are in 3 coats, and I did magnetize only the 3rd coat. So nothing in here is going to dry down texture. Removal will likely be a little bit messy, but not too bad if for some reason you decide to scrub this one off. And now we have Hearts and Promises with Side of Ranch. This polish is described as being a very light green tinted Crelly base with a gold green / copper UCC flaky as well as green shimmer. It is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 300 bottles. This polish had a really great formula. It did not feel overly thick or thin and I had no application issues. Because this one is in like a very sheer, almost pearlescent-y kind of base. It starts out a little bit sheer and a little bit patchy. I liked coverage best in 3 coats. I think if you're not overly picky and you have shorter nails, you'll be passable in 2. But I added a 3rd just to fix any kind of patchiness that I had on my nail. The flakies in here all spread very evenly and easily without giving off any texture. I did find that the shimmer in here does show some brush strokes, but for the most part they all disappear as the polish dries, but if you search for them on the nail, you will see them. So I swatched this one in 3 coats plus a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Heather's Hues with It's Alright Pastel. Heather's Hues was inspired by Pascal from the movie Tangled. This one is described as being a green jelly base with a pink to gold shifting shimmer, green to gold iridescent flakies, as well as pink hollow dust. It is priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a fantastic formula. I am not generally a lover of green. However, the base color paired with the shimmer, paired with those big old flakies, really made me like this one. Like, the combination of all 3 together was definitely just, ooh, so pretty. I love this one. The shimmer is super strong, super glowy, and did not show any brush strokes. While there were some larger flakies in here, they did not dry down textured, and they won't be difficult to remove either. This one is very holographic and looks so pretty out in the sunlight. I do think this one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your application. I personally did have some visible nail line with this one on the clear part of my nail. I did notice in my macro shot that I could also see my natural nail, but in person I was not seeing my natural nail line, only the clear part of my nail. As far as non-nail polish items go, I do have 2 items to share with you all this month. So the first being the Heather's Hues What Is This Sorcery Lotion, and this month's scent is called Jellyfish Bubbles. Alright, here it is. At the time of recording, I do not yet have all the information for this one, so let's just give it a little sniffy sniff. Ooh. This one smells to me like a tropical punch drink that I remember drinking as like a child. That's what it smells really good. This is, oh yeah, like, yeah, this one smells like some kind of like red punch flavored drink that I drank as a child and really enjoyed. You all know I do the same song and dance every single month. This is my favorite lotion in the entire world. This is the lotion I buy all the time. This one does have sweet almond oil in it, so if you have a nut allergy, I would proceed with caution. For everyone else, definitely fantastic lotion. And I will say, I like the fragrance on this one so much that I'm very tempted to buy a backup, but like, I literally have more lotion from Heather's Hues than I can actually go through. So I'm not going to get it back up, but I am very tempted because this fragrance is top notch. Next up, we have KBShimmer with Pump It Up. KBShimmer was inspired by pumpkin spice, and this one is described as being a muted squash colored orange shade with rusty undertones. It also has a mixture of holographic and reflective glitters in it. It's priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. So Pump It Up had a really great formula. I was pleasantly surprised that the base for this one did not feel nearly as thick as some of KBShimmer's previous reflective shades. I did find that it was also a little bit less opaque than some of their other reflective polishes that tend to be like 1 to 2 coaters tops. Because of that, I did end up going in for 3 thin coats for this polish to reach full opacity. If you have shorter nails than me, you might be good in 2 coats, but I think longer nails, if you want to cover up your visible nail line, you're likely going to go in for 3 coats or maybe chance it with 2 thicker coats, but that's on you, not me. The glitters in here are ridiculously sparkly. Like, I was in love with how this polish looked, and I did not think I was going to like it based on the bottle. The glitters in here do dry down with a lot of texture. I did pair this one with the KBShimmer Smooth Moves top coat to smooth out those glitters, and then I went in for another layer of KBShimmer's Quick Dry top coat, and that smoothed this one out completely for me. Removal is going to be extremely difficult. Soak this one off or use a peel-off base coat or you will cry. And the second non-nail polish item I have is by KBShimmer, and this is their Sugar Scrub. This one's scent is in Sweet Cider. This one is inspired by Trips to the Orchard. The scent notes on it are crisp and perfectly ripe apple notes, quickly blended with vanilla and sugar spun for a sweet cider-like scent. So this one definitely smells like this smells like the inspiration. I would say it's heavier on like the cider fragrance and lighter on the apple. Like, if I sniffed it, I would definitely say this is like a cidery, warm spice kind of scent, but it's not like a strong apple scent. But it smells really good. So again, same song and dance every single month. This is my favorite sugar scrub in the entire world. I love this stuff. I keep it in both of the bathrooms in my house. Like, This is my go-to sugar scrub, and I buy backups for this very often. And now we have Night Owl Lacquer with Hey Hey Kinda Day. Night Owl Lacquer was inspired by Hey Hey from Moana, and this one is described as being a teal base filled with a red, orange, gold shifting shimmer, as well as copper reflective glitter. It is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. I know you're about to see the second coat for you, but this was actually the third coat for me. I forgot to hit record during the second coat, and I didn't want to take this off and redo it, so I apologize for that. This polish had a really great formula. I do think if you want to cover up your nail line as well as make this one the same depth of color that you see in the bottle, this one is likely going to be a 3-coater. But this is another one where the base color paired with the shimmer and the glitter. Ooh, I just really loved how this one looked on the nail. I thought for sure that this one was going to be a stainer for me, but I did not personally experience any staining with it. The reflective glitters do give this one some texture, so I did pair it with a glitter smoothing top coat before going with my quick dry top coat, and that seemed to smooth it out completely for me. And I was able to see those bronze reflex out in natural light without any flash. And finally, this one will be very difficult to remove if for some reason you decide to scrub it off, soak off method, or peel off base coat. Next up, we have Restored by Polish with Better Together. The brand owner was inspired by their sidekick, Krista. This polish is described as being a pink-leaning coral polish packed with an array of color-shifting iridescent flakes. It is priced at $12.50 for 13 ml and has a cap of 100 bottles. This polish had a really great formula. I will say this right now. My live swatch portion is not color accurate. It's looking a lot more pink toned than what I was seeing in person. I would say it's definitely like a coral that leans that salmony pink kind of color. Think China Glaze Flip Flop Fantasy. Around that kind of color, that's what the base on this one reminds me of. The base for this one was just a little bit on the thicker side, but I was told by Jacqueline that the polishes that Swatch received were thicker in formula than what customers will be receiving. That said, I did not find it overly thick at all. So this one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preferences. For my swatch photos, I did use this one in 3 coats. For personal wear, I would likely only swatch this one in 2. The flakies do not dry on textured. They will be very messy on removal, but not too terrible if for some reason you decide to scrub this one off. Next up, we have Sassy Sauce Polish with 2 snaps. Sassy Sauce was inspired by a photo of the Thing from the Addams Family, and this one is described as being a gray base Crelly loaded with a strong green, blue, purple / pink shifting shimmer, as well as similar shifting UCC flakies. It is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 500 bottles. 2 Snaps had a fantastic formula. This one does start off very sheer, but that sheerness gives you like a redonkulous glowy shimmer. The shimmer in here is absolutely gorgeous. However, I do think this one is likely going to be a solid 3-coater if you want to cover up as much of your visible nail line as possible. I was seeing kind of hints of my nail line via the clear part of my nail. I don't think that will be an issue for those of you with longer natural nails, but be mindful if you go in for like super thin coats, you might have some visible nail line with this polish. I particularly really like this one with a matte top coat. The flakies in here do not dry down texture. They will remove fairly easily, if not just a little bit messy, but yeah, this one is absolutely stunning. And the final polish is by Twisting Nether Lacquer, and this one is called Zero. Twisting Nether Lacquer was inspired by Zero from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is described as being a white Crelly base with black flakies as well as black to red UCC flakies and a red to orange shimmer. It is priced at $13.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 200 bottles. So this polish had a fantastic formula. You will want to build this one up. I would say that the base is kind of like a milky white Crelly base. I personally think it looks best in 3 coats, but if you don't mind more obvious visible nail line, it's definitely passable in 2 coats. I was very surprised that this didn't have a lot of patchiness. I was expecting it to be fairly patchy, but it was not patchy. The flakes in here all spread very evenly and easily without giving off any texture. The shimmer, look at that shimmer. It looks so beautiful out in natural sunlight. Like, I loved it out in natural lighting. So I swatched this one in 3 coats plus glossy top coat. I do think this one will look fantastic with a matte top coat as well, just to plop that in your brain. Alrighty, and so that is everything. What'd you think? So as far as top picks go, I think my top pick is going to be the Crystal Knockout Polish, just because like I really enjoyed wearing that one. But I also think that might also be because I did nail it for that one with you all during my live stream, which was super, super fun for me. So I think that was gonna be my top pick, but I also want to give honorable mentions to the Heather's Hues polish because I love the flakies in that polish. Like there were some big old chonkers in there and I really, really enjoyed those flakies. And another top pick for me is going to be the Restored by Polish polish. It was a neon, so like clearly you know I love it because I personally really, really, really love neons. I love that color. I think that one is going to look fantastic on my next pedicure. So I would love to know what everyone else thought of polish pickup. Are you planning on picking anything up? If so, let me know down in the comment section. And also, if you'd like to know what I am personally picking up, definitely check out my live stream that I recorded. Depending when this video goes up, it was either earlier today or yesterday. I don't know how long it's gonna take for this one to upload. So either it happened earlier today or it happened yesterday. I just want to say thank you all so very much for watching. Do not forget to hit the like button before you leave, as well as hitting subscribe if you haven't yet already. I am hosting a giveaway, so you know, be subscribed so you can take part in the giveaway, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!